Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. Thank you so much for once again joining me for tea time. Today we have just Misty Morning. That's it. If you want to pick up Misty Morning or Focus or Fireside or any of the other teas that I've put together for you guys, pick them up over at darkmoonteas.com or head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all kinds of photography tools that I've invented over the years. Check it out, JCristina.com. So today is going to be a Sony day. Sony, kind of like Sony. I am a console fan. I'm a tech head, just in case you guys don't know. Some of you do, that have been around with me for the last year and a half that I've been doing these vlogs. I'm a technology guy. I'm a tech head. I ran a software company for about 13 years before going back into my love, which was photography. I went to school for photography, for all the creative arts, for graphic design and whatnot, and I went back to it after 13 years. So anyways, I've been doing photography for a couple of decades now. But as a tech head, I love my games, my game consoles, Linux. I know Unix inside and out, right? But games are a passion of mine. I just love it. I want to tell you a little bit about the PS5. They finally had that reveal. And it's finally out there. We know exactly what the specs are for the PS5. Check this out, guys. I have to show you this to you. Do you see this? Do you know what that is, guys? That is from 1994. That is a PS1. Now, I have PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, on and on and on, right? I will probably get a PS5. I have all of the Xbox consoles as well as other consoles that you probably don't even know about. But anyways, there you go. 1994. Imagine 1994. This company has made so much money, over, I think it was like 80 to $100 billion on their PlayStations and whatnot. So they've made a lot of money. I think they've doubled Nintendo. And a lot of people thought that Nintendo was the kind of the creme de la creme when it comes to making money. Nope. It's Sony. They are just crushing it. Of course, you have Xbox doing really well too, but Sony's really made a lot of money with their Sony interactive entertainment division. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the PS5 and that reveal, what the prices were, the specs, what I thought about the entire announcement and whatnot. But let's get right into the specs. Before I do, if you haven't picked up my ebook, go over to jcristina.com/ebook. Once again, jcristina.com/ebook, 10 tips at making tack sharp images. There's something there for amateurs, pro-ams, professionals. You're going to learn something, and it's free. It's free. Once again, jcristina.com/ebook. So let's get right into the specs. You know, I don't like specs, but we have to get into them because there are some of you that will not buy the system unless the specs meet your criteria. So we're going to go through them all real quick. I'm going to try to buzz through them really fast and not get into all of the tech head stuff. I'm going to do a little bit more of an overview. So starting out, the CPU is an x86-64 AMD Ryzen Zen 2. It is an 8-core with 16 threads. It does have variable frequency, so that means it'll turbo basically up to 3.5 gigahertz. Now the GPU is an AMD Radeon RDNA. It does have the ray tracing acceleration as well as a variable frequency processor on it, GPU processor that goes up to 2.23 gigahertz. That is 10.3 teraflops. That is only a couple of teraflops less than the Xbox X that is coming out. Now, as far as memory, it does have 16 gigs, and it has an SSD instead of a spinning hard drive. That is 825 gigabytes. I would like to see a terabyte drive, but that's what they had available, so that's what they threw in it. Optical Drive, of course, is an Ultra HD Blu-ray as well as DVD combination. Its video out does do 1080p as well as 4K at 120 hertz, and it will even do 8K. But don't get all excited about 8K because there will not be any 8K games out there for probably at least a year. The audio is their Tempest, their 3D AudioTech, and the dimensions. This is kind of interesting. 390 millimeters tall by 104 millimeters by 260 deep. 390 millimeters, guys, is massive. This is the largest console ever made. Hands down, largest console ever made. There might be a good reason for it. We'll get into that in just a minute. Anyways, the input-output, of course, is USB-A as well as USB Type-C. Networking, of course, you're going to get a gigabit as well as wireless, your 802.11, A, B, G, and AC as well as AX. And, of course, you're going to have Bluetooth 5.1. Now, your controls are the DualSense wireless controls. You'll have your PS button, your Create button, and your Option button as well as a touchpad. Create button is kind of cool. This is a new button that we're not sure what it does, but I'm going to guess it's probably going to allow you to record clips and then possibly edit and upload them immediately from your PS5. Just a guess. We'll see what ends up happening with that. As far as the motion sensor, it will have a 6-axis motion sensing system built into it, as well as your audio input and output being your built-in mic, as well as your headphone jack. And finally, your feedback is the trigger effect for your R2 as well as your L2 button. Vibration, of course, is that haptic feedback. What's really cool is your L2 and your R2 button will have resistance in it. So not only will you have the shaky shake, right? But you also have resistance. So if you're pulling back on a bow, you're going to feel that resistance in your finger. That is super cool, guys. That is super cool. You didn't see that with these, with this controller, right? It was just kind of like on, off, right? That's it. You didn't have anything else to it. Anyways, so those are the specs. The things that really stand out to me, obviously, you're going to get 16 gigs. You have a little bit less than a terabyte as far as hard drive space. I think that could be an issue, kind of, sort of. Of course, you can put on external storage if you wanted to, right? But remember, if you get the digital version of this, because they have the digital and the non-digital will give you that Blu-ray player. The digital doesn't have that in there. If you get the digital version, well, you need a lot of space. Some of these games are massive. They are massive. So space is definitely really required. I mean, I would like to have seen at least 1 terabyte for this gaming system. But at this point, you're probably going to need like a 4 terabyte that you plug into it to be able to dump all these games into it. I mean, especially if you're going to get that digital version, you're going to just eat up hard drive space. The other thing that I thought was very interesting that I wanted to get back to is the size. The size of this thing is like 15, 16 inches tall. So if you put this like in front of your TV, I mean, you're literally this big. You're massive. All right. It is really, really large. Now, of course, you can lay it down sideways, which is not a problem. People have been doing that forever with all of the different consoles. But aesthetically, it's just a beautiful work of art. It has beautiful curves to it. It looks like just a very cool looking console in comparison to what Microsoft did with the trash can that they created, just a square box. You know, everyone has their preference, but for me, just all that curvy line, almost like Alienware-esque is what it looks like. I really like it. I like it a lot. It looks like something that, you know, Elon Musk had put together, you know? So I do like the way it looks. Now, that height probably has a lot to do with heat dissipation. We talk about this all the time when it comes to cameras. Well, it's same thing happens here with consoles. You need to be able to get the heat out. The old systems had fans in them that used to run at like 6 million revolutions per second. It was like, woo, like it sounded like I don't know, like a jet engine firing up when it got hot. Well, that's crazy. That doesn't help with the immersive experience when you have a jet engine sitting in front of you because it's so damn hot. So having all of this extra room in there to dissipate the heat and kind of funnel the heat out probably allows them to have less fan noise, all right? Less speed when it comes to fan. That is, to me, very important. I think that is a really smart thing to do. Obviously, I am speculating, but I'm going to say that I'm probably 95% right. Kind of like that. Also, of course, that AMD processor, that Zen 2, just kicks butt. It is a really good processor. Turboing up to 3.5 gigahertz, that is going to last them quite some time. And of course, that AMD Radeon RDNA graphics controller, their GPU, is also kick-ass. So it will be able to last, like I said, another 3, 4, 5, maybe even 7 years until the next one comes out. It'll be around for a while and it'll be able to handle a lot of things. Now, what I did notice in this presentation is that a lot of the games that are coming out, they almost feel like they're a little bit neutered when it comes to the graphics. I feel like the graphics that we see today will not be the graphics that we see tomorrow. I don't think that the game developers are using the full 10.3 teraflops of speed that they have accessible to them with the PS5. That's just what it looks like to me. Once again, do your due diligence, look it up, see what you think about it. But that's what I think. I do believe that this machine is going to get better over time. So within a year or two, you will see a better PS5 instead of a worse PS5. Number one, you're going to start seeing some 8K games, which are currently not available. Maybe 2021. Possibly maybe mid to end 2021, you're going to see some 8K games as 8K TVs become more and more prevalent. That is very important. There's no reason to make an 8K game when there's nowhere to play it. All right. So we're going to see it kind of get better. Like I said, age like wine. All right. That's what I think will end up happening with this. Now, the downside of all this was the actual presentation. When I went in there to watch this, I watched it live. It ended up being about 50 minutes long. Let's call it an hour. Okay. And I was really expecting them to do a little bit more than they did. I wanted to see the CEO come out there, and really talk it up a little bit, blow a little smoke up my skirt. That would have been nice. That would have made me feel good. Jim Ryan is one of those guys that he's just kind of, I don't want to say he's not good on camera, but he's not good on camera. I don't know. He's not animated. He's kind of stuffed shirt, and he could be a really good guy. Don't get me wrong, but he's no Steve Jobs. Let's just put it that way. When Apple would introduce an iPhone, Steve Jobs would come out and the whole crowd would go silent, and then he would say something, they would just roar. Okay. He was really good at presentation and just being very, let's say, animated and get you really into it. So you kind of, your saliva is coming out. You're like, God, I want this. This just looks awesome. Look at that iPad. That's like the best thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. This type of thing. Well, it wasn't like that. Literally, Jim Ryan got like a 25-second, 30-second spot, a monologue at the very end that said, hey, there it is. Thanks for coming. See ya.
So now you know. Thank you all for joining us today and for being part of this amazing journey. It's your passion as fans of gaming that drives us to deliver a truly new generation of experiences
not exactly that,
on
but
PS5.
literally like that.
From everyone at PlayStation,
I mean, I wanted to see more.
your
It would have been
continued
good
support.
during the presentation
We
if
look
every once in a
forward to
while
you
it was
getting your
broken up
hands
with
on
him
PS5
speaking about the
very
unit.
soon.
All of the plus factors
close,
in comparison to other
let me leave you
consoles,
with
or
one
just
more
simply
quick
the
look.
plus factors of the PS5 in comparison to even a PS4. That would have been a nice thing. Instead, they would do like a 5-minute, let's say, preview of a game. And then what they would do is they would have the creator of the game discuss it. Or they would have the creator come on first, play the preview, and then have the creator then do a final type of monologue. So the creator's got like maybe a minute to talk about their specific game. And that was it. So it was like creator game, creator game, creator game. 45 minutes later, we have Jim come out and say, see ya. All right. I hope you like it. This is the price. So let me just give you a list of some of the titles that were shown in the video. Now, they have the exclusive titles that a lot of people really buy the PS4, right? They just love these specific exclusive games. Like you would buy an Xbox for Halo, right? You're not going to find it anywhere else. The same thing with PS games, PS5 in this case. Now, as far as the exclusive games, we have Final Fantasy, we have God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, we have Spider-Man Miles Morales, Gran Turismo 7, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, and a bunch others. Now, what they also highlighted was their PlayStation Plus. Basically, it's like a monthly fee, a subscription, and you could go download any of the games that they currently have online, which is really cool. They're all doing it right now. It doesn't matter if it's Nintendo or if it's Microsoft's, Xbox, whatever, you have something like it. So they highlighted some of these games, and there's a lot of great stuff in there. You have Abe's World, Harry Potter's Wizarding World, you have Call of Duty, Cold War, Bloodborne, Monster Hunter, Fallout 4, Mortal Kombat X, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, Days Gone, Until Dawn, Battlefield 1, Batman Arkham Knight, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us, Resident Evil, Biohazard, and on and on and on. A good bunch of quality games that you can download basically for free. Obviously, you have to pay your subscription, but they're usually a little bit older, maybe a year or two older, but you can get them on there. Some of them are brand new. Right? So it's very cool. I really do like the idea of subscription when it comes to the gaming side, but there's two things you need to understand. Like I said before, you need to have a ton of hard drive space because it takes a ton and you don't want to download them over and over. Why is that? Because some of these games are 50 gigabytes, 100 gigabytes, 200 gigabytes. And if you do not have a fast connection, like I don't, that is problematic. For you to download a 100 gigabyte game on a slow connection like I have Uverse, we're probably talking about a day or two to download the whole thing. All right? That's not cool. That's not cool at all. And this is what happens all the times with the kids when they get these games for Christmas. What happens is you get a DVD, you stick it into your slot, you think that your child's going to be able to play, and what does it say? Update required. You're like, what the hell? An update required? I just bought it. It's brand new. Nope. We need to update it. And what is the update? The update is like downloading the whole damn thing again, like 40 gigabytes. What? That's just frustrating to me. That's frustrating to me. And I think all of these console makers should fix that because that's just a hill of crap, in my personal opinion. So, anyways, as far as the game console goes itself, you're looking at a top price of $499, guys. That's their main version, let's just say. If you decide to go with the digital version, instead of paying $499, you're paying $299. Now, the difference is they will both have the identical system inside of them. So by getting the only digital that doesn't have the Blu-ray in there, all right, you're not getting a lesser system. Everything in there is identical. Your GPU, your CPU, the amount of RAM, the size of your SSD, everything. They're identical, which is really important because some people are going to look at it and say, $499. I think I'll just download these games. That's expensive, right? The one problem that you might have is some games are going to have a thing whereas you need to have the Blu-ray or to have the CD for you to get the latest and greatest update. Some of these companies are saying, if you, for example, have God of War or whatever it is, I'm not even sure if that's one of them, but let's say it's God of War. If you have the CD and you pick up a PS5, we will send you digitally the latest and greatest version of God of War for the PS5 with better graphics, remastered, whatever it is. But you need to have that CD. All right. So there's let's say positives and negatives to paying the extra for the full-blown version that has the DVD/Blu-ray player in it in comparison to the digital only. I personally think that you should not get just a digital only. Get the one that has the Blu-ray player in it. Why? Because you're probably going to have this system for 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 years, just like the last time. All right. Over the course of numerous years, it doesn't come to a lot of money. So anyways, these are kind of my thoughts. I want to know what you think about it. We're looking at a release date of November 12th and November 19th. Now, November 12th is for all of the US, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, as well as South Korea. November 19th is for everywhere else in the world. All right. So for us in the US, we're going to see it on the 12th. You'll be able to order it. It'll be available, supposedly. Who knows? With the whole Corona thing, the COVID-19, how was production? Was it lower than expected? I don't know. They're not going to tell us this, okay? So if you really want one of these units, I would probably pre-order, get in there immediately on the 12th and get it, because chances are when the holidays come, just like every other holiday that a brand new console is released, same with the Xbox, Xbox S, Xbox X, same thing. If you want them, get them early. There'll be a run on these things like you would not believe, and you're not going to be able to pick one of these up. Period. That's just it. So anyways, guys, this was a fun one for me. Some of you guys always are looking for the photo type of stuff and probably have turned off this video a long time ago. But if you're with me all the way to the end, all right, I want to thank you for being here. And that means that you kind of like tech stuff like I do also. Maybe I'll send this to you. No, I won't. This is mine. 1994, guys. Look at this. 1994. It still works too, right? You see, I keep this stuff. I keep this stuff good. Anyways, guys, thank you once again for being here. If you haven't downloaded that ebook, go and download it over at jcristina.com/ebook. Also, if you like this video, even a slight bit, please give it a thumbs up. That is so helpful. You will never believe how helpful it is. The YouTube algorithm and gods will look kindly on this video if you give it a thumbs up. So please do so. Also, subscribe to the channel so you can get more of this type of content and a heck of a lot more of photography and videography, how-tos, reviews, and this type of thing. And of course, a lot of commentary. Subscribe. And if you are subscribed, click this little bell icon over here. If you click that bell icon, whenever I go live or if new content comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me. That would be awesome, guys. That would be awesome. That's it. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe and stay healthy.